Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 most unbelievable coincidences in history. From literary predictions to eerie parallels, these stories will leave you questioning reality. Throughout the vastness of time and the intricate tapestry of human experience, remarkable events unfold, seemingly unconnected yet interwoven in ways that defy explanation. These are not merely tales of chance encounters, but rather profound mysteries that challenge our understanding of cause and effect. Join us as we delve into the extraordinary, where the improbable transforms into the undeniable, leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of history. In the annals of maritime tragedies, the sinking of the Titanic stands as a stark reminder of the perils of the sea. But what if I told you that this disaster, this seemingly random twist of fate, had been foreshadowed years before it occurred? In 1898, a little-known author named Morgan Robertson penned a novel called It told the story of a colossal ocean liner, deemed unsinkable by its creators. This vessel, christened the Titan, met a tragic end, colliding with an iceberg on a cold April night. The similarities to the real Titanic, sinking 14 years later, are chilling. Both ships were touted as marvels of engineering, the largest of their kind. Both were considered impervious to the dangers of the open ocean, and both met their demise under eerily similar circumstances. Was Robertson's novel a mere work of fiction, or could it have been something more? A premonition, perhaps, of a tragedy waiting to unfold? The details are uncanny, prompting us to question whether some events are destined to transpire, regardless of human intervention. The assassinations of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy stand as pivotal moments in American history. Two beloved leaders struck down in their prime, but the connections between these tragic events run far deeper than their shared outcome. These two presidents, elected a century apart, are bound by a series of startling coincidences that defy simple explanation. Both men were champions of civil rights, both were tragically gunned down on a Friday, and both in the presence of their wives. The parallels continue. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy who warned him against attending the theater where he was shot. Kennedy, in a strange twist, had a secretary named Lincoln. Each president was succeeded by a man named Johnson, both Southerners who had previously served in the Senate. As we delve further into the lives of these two men, the connections multiply, weaving an intricate web of eerie similarities. Were these events merely coincidental, or could there be a deeper, more inexplicable force at play? The notion of identical twins leading parallel lives is a fascinating one, but the story of Jim Lewis and Jim Springer takes this phenomenon to an entirely new level. Separated at birth and raised by different families, the twins lived in complete ignorance of each other's existence. It wasn't until they were 39 years old that fate intervened, bringing them face to face in a reunion that would defy belief. What they discovered was astonishing. Both had been named James by their adoptive parents. Both had married and divorced women named Linda, and later remarried women named Betty. One named his son James Allen, the other James Allen. They shared the same hobbies, the same taste in cigarettes, even the same brand of car. The list of similarities seemed endless, each one more improbable than the last. Were these simply the whimsical workings of chance? Or did their shared genes dictate the course of their lives, guiding them along remarkably similar paths? Chapter 4. The Shadow of the Dam. The Hoover Dam stands as a testament to human ingenuity, a colossal structure taming the mighty Colorado River. But its construction was a perilous undertaking, claiming the lives of many workers who toiled tirelessly in its shadow. Among these tragedies, one stands out for its eerie significance. The first man to lose his life during the dam's construction was a surveyor named George Tierney, who drowned in the raging river on December 20th, 1922. 13 years later, almost to the day, tragedy struck again. This time the victim was Patrick Tierney, George's son, who also met his fate on the dam, crushed by a falling pipe. The date, December 20th, 1935. This chilling coincidence, a father and son meeting their demise on the same date, years apart, cast a long shadow over the dam's legacy. Was it simply a cruel twist of fate? Or was there a darker force at play, one that linked these two men and their untimely ends? Chapter 5. Poe's Eerie Echo. Edgar Allan Poe, the master of the macabre, renowned for his chilling tales of the supernatural, finds himself at the heart of a real-life mystery that blurs the line between fiction and reality. In 1838, Poe published a novel recounting a harrowing shipwreck and the desperate struggle for survival of its few survivors. Among them, a cabin boy named Richard Parker, who, driven to madness by hunger, is killed and eaten by his companions. Decades later, in 1884, a real-life shipwreck unfolded, bearing chilling similarities to Poe's fictional account. The yacht Mignonette sank, leaving 4 men stranded at sea. One of them, a young cabin boy named Richard Parker, met a tragic end, mirroring the fate of his fictional counterpart. The eerie parallels between Poe's narrative and the Mignonette disaster are undeniable. Was it a case of life imitating art? Or did Poe, through some inexplicable means, tap into a future event, transcribing it into the pages of his novel? Chapter 6: Twain and the Comet's Call. Mark Twain, the celebrated American author, renowned for his wit and wisdom, is linked to the cosmos in a manner that transcends mere coincidence. Born in 1835, as Halley's comet graced the night sky, Twain would develop a lifelong fascination with the celestial wanderer. He often remarked that he had come into the world with the comet and fully expected to depart with it as well. True to his word, in 1910, as Halley's comet made its return, Twain's light flickered and dimmed. The world mourned the loss of a literary giant, but his passing, coinciding with the comet's arrival, seemed almost preordained. Was it merely a self-fulfilling prophecy, or was there a deeper connection between Twain and the celestial body that marked his birth and death? In the annals of medical mysteries, the case of Henry Ziegland stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of fate. In 1883, Ziegland found himself at the heart of a family feud that culminated in a fatal confrontation. His rival, enraged and seeking revenge, shot Ziegland, leaving him for dead. The bullet, however, missed its mark, grazing Ziegland's head and lodging itself in a nearby tree. Years later, Ziegland, having recovered from his wounds, decided to remove the tree that held the bullet that had almost ended his life. It was a decision that would seal his fate. Unable to dislodge the bullet with his axe, Ziegland resorted to dynamite. The explosion sent the bullet hurtling back towards its intended target, striking Ziegland in the head and killing him instantly. Was it merely bad luck, or had fate, in a macabre twist, merely delayed the inevitable? Chapter 8: The Archduke's Grim Prophecy. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, on June 28, 1914, ignited the powder keg of Europe, plunging the world into the abyss of World War I. But within this act of regicide lies a chilling detail, a seemingly insignificant fact that resonates with an eerie significance. The car in which the Archduke met his demise bore the license plate A3-118. At the time, this seemingly random sequence of letters and numbers held no particular significance. It was only in retrospect, after the armistice was signed on November 11, 1918, that the chilling truth became apparent. The Archduke's license plate foreshadowed the date of the war's end, 11/11/18. Was it a mere coincidence, a random quirk of fate, or did it hint at a predetermined course of history, a grim foreshadowing of the conflict to come? Chapter 9: The Taxi's Cruel Repetition. In the realm of tragic coincidences, the story of the Bermuda taxi twins stands as a chilling reminder of the capricious nature of fate. In 1975, on the island of Bermuda, a young man was riding his moped when tragedy struck. He was struck and killed by a taxi. A year later, almost to the day, his brother met the same fate, killed at the same location while riding the same moped. But the eerie similarities don't end there. Both brothers were killed by the same taxi driver, and to compound the tragedy, both were carrying the same passenger at the time of their deaths. The odds of such a series of events occurring defy comprehension. Was it simply a case of misfortune compounded? Or did a darker force orchestrate this tragic repetition, playing out a cruel and improbable script on the streets of Bermuda? Chapter 10: The King's Double Jeopardy. In the annals of history, few coincidences are as perplexing as the tale of King Umberto I of Italy. In 1900, while attending a gymnastics competition, the king was struck by the uncanny resemblance of the restaurant owner to himself. Upon further conversation, the king discovered that they shared the same name, Umberto, were born on the same day in the same town, and even married women with the same name. The king, amused by this bizarre mirroring of their lives, invited the restaurant owner to attend his event the following day. Tragically, the next day, King Umberto I was assassinated while attending a sporting event. As fate would have it, the restaurant owner, his doppelganger, was fatally shot that same day in a case of mistaken identity. Was it a case of mistaken identity, taken to a whole new level? Or was there a more sinister force at play, one that recognized their intertwined fates and sought to sever the connection in the most brutal way imaginable? Outro: The Unexplained Remains. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these mind-boggling coincidences, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating content. As we've journeyed through these tales of the improbable, one question lingers. Are these events merely random occurrences, or do they point to a deeper order, a hidden hand guiding the course of history? While we may never have definitive answers, one thing is certain: the world is a tapestry woven with threads of coincidence, mystery and wonder. And it's in those inexplicable moments that we catch a glimpse of the truly extraordinary nature of life itself.